Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cheryl and this is True Crime and Other Stuff. Today, I'd just like to take a moment to thank my over 900 subscribers. I'd really appreciate you. Thanks for subscribing and taking the time to watch my videos. With that being said, today we're going to talk about the Menendez brothers. Yes. This was a case that happened over 33 years ago, and I remember this case very well because I was 18 when it happened. So, let's get into it.
Eric and Lyle shot and killed their parents, Jose and Kitty, at their home in Beverly Hills in August 1989. Eric was 18 and Lyle was 21. At first, the brothers claimed burglars must have killed their parents while they were out at a movie. Jose Menendez worked in upper management at RCA Records at the time, and the family was incredibly well off. Prosecutors later charged Lyle and Eric in 1992 with killing their parents, claiming the sons wanted their parents' money to themselves so they could fund a lavish lifestyle. At trial, the brothers said they endured years of abuse, sexual, physical, and emotional, at the hands of their father, and that their mother enabled it. Some of Eric and Lyle's family members testified about the abuse. The siblings said the crimes they committed were manslaughter, not murder. The first trial ended in a hung jury, the second in a conviction and life sentences for Eric and Lyle.
It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night, I stay up thinking he might come in. I need to put it out of my mind.
Also, now the Menendez brothers say new evidence shows they should be released from prison. That includes Roy Roseo, a member of the popular 1980s boy band Menudo, coming forward to say that Jose Menendez raped him as a child. Menudo was represented at the time by RCA Records. In a new petition for a writ of habeas corpus, the Menendezes have included a handwritten letter that Eric wrote to his cousin Andy in 1988 discussing the abuse.
I'll tell you what happened, at least from my standpoint. First trial was defended by Leslie Abramson. Leslie is, when I was starting out, was one of the heroines in the criminal defense, a superstar lawyer. She was just phenomenal to watch in action. She tried that first case, and the half of that jury, the jury hung, with a mistrial was declared, but half of the jury found that they did not commit a murder. And when I say they did not commit a murder, they were hung between murder and manslaughter. And the main reason for that was the abuse. There was front and center in the trial. It diminished the notion or element of malice. So then a mistrial is declared, and guess what happens? In the interim, O.J. Simpson is acquitted. And literally days later, they go to trial, the second trial. There's a new prosecutor within the DA's office. Some wags said David Kahn, who tried it, was thought to be Gil Garcetti's biggest threat for his reelection. So what he did in kind of a Machiavellian move is he put David Kahn on the retrial of the Menendez brothers, and they were able to convince the judge to exclude all of the abuse. So not only was the second trial gamed, so to speak, by not having the ability to argue and to present evidence of the abuse, but even more unfortunate for the boys in justice was that the DA, David, made the argument in closing that it was just an excuse. They were privileged, affected white kids from the Valley, basically, who just didn't like being grounded. I mean, that was they diminished the abuse, and he called it the abuse excuse. Interestingly, what happened since is, first, there was a letter that was written by Eric 8 months before the killings took place. That letter was to his cousin, and it described, it's horrific, and it's attached to our filing. I think you probably read it. It'll shake you up as a mother, and I know it did me as a parent. That letter goes to his cousin. His cousin tragically passes away. All of his personal effects are then with one of the other relatives, and tucked away. Nobody ever looks through it. They then find it most recently. The letter is, I think, devastating and shows that it was not contrived after the fact. Then what happens is you've got this NBC Peacock documentary that comes out, and it turns out that there's now one of the band members from Menudo, which was a band on the RCA label that Jose Menendez was president of that label, alleges that he was molested by Jose Menendez. You combine the two of those together, you've got about as good a corroboration as you'd ever want, and it's about as good factually about as good a writ of habeas corpus as I've seen in next month doing this 40 years.
Well, I do remember this case when it happened 33 years ago. I was 18, like I said. Do I think they were spoiled little brats? Yeah, I kind of thought they were spoiled little brats. Do I think they were molested by their father? Yeah, I believe they were. I still do. And I also thought they didn't get a fair trial. So, that's the case of the Menendez brothers, and we'll see. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching my videos, and have a nice day.